Welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. The last time something dramatic happened. Both teammates, Kalisha and Hiodan, died unexpectedly, in my eyes at least. I didn't see that coming. And now I am sick and I need a cure, and we need to get that in the Gilded Vale. So that is our next step. We crossed Valewood and now we're ready to enter the Gilded Vale. So without further ado, let's do that. 8 hours? Wow, it's a long trip. Hope you have enough food. Except games. And here we are in the Gilded Vale. What has been added? I've reached in the Gilded Vale. It's not quite what I was expecting. What were you expecting exactly? It's a village and everything is visible already. Let me go through the map for a bit. North, Ofra's house, Adair, Aloth, the Black Hound Inn, there's an inn. There's the road west, and there's the temple, the south road, the Black Hammer Smith, Ingrid's house, and Windmill, and there's east, of course. Let's explore.
Right.
Keeping quiet.
And I've read on the internet that I need to be in stealth mode when I search for items, so I don't know if that's becoming part of my routine. I don't want to be in stealth mode every time, but maybe now and then. You can find additional items, so that seems useful to do. And there's a civilian. And a cutscene. Wow. That's horrible.
You must be one of the new settlers. Welcome to Gilded Vale. You'll be pleased to know that we've had some recent vacancies here.
He glances at the gnarled, leafless monstrosity of a tree next to him. Wow, there's a lot of bodies on the tree. Says Urgiat. His skin is dull and grey. He has a desolate village behind him. So it's a desolate village, I guess. Do you welcome everyone this way? The only answer you hear is the buzzing of flies from the tree, so he stays silent.
Of course, we'll need to make some inquiries first. The inestimable Lord Radric VII has taken great pains to insulate our town from Widewind's legacy. Have you ever sired a Hollowborn child?
Can't say I do. I have, I mean. What are you talking about? I don't know what a Hollowborn child is.
An infant born without a soul, of course. Lord Radric has made it his first priority to eliminate this scourge from our village.
So, these men and women had no souls? I don't know.
I should warn you, stranger. Here in Gilded Vale, we have a special place for dissidents, charlatans, and those who would hide a curse in our midst.
He steps to the side and inclines his head ever so slightly toward the deformed tree. Yeah, that's a threat.
His lordship's wife is with child and due any day now. Without his approval, I shan't be able to find you a permanent settlement. It will have to wait until after the birth. We can continue our interview then, after the bell tolls from Radric's home to signal my lord's new heir. In the meantime, you can find temporary accommodations at the inn just southwest of here.
Well, thank you. I'm not going to alight that to him. Yeah, you said something about Hollowborn and Wadwin's legacy before. Can you tell me about it? He blinks. I forget that you foreigners do not have this curse in your homelands, The Hollowborn have been a scourge upon the Durwood for almost 15 years now. He lowers his voice to a whisper. Children born without souls. Aha. He shakes his head. Pitiful, dumb things that breathe, barely, but do not truly live. Some say the Hollowborn are a disease. Some say they are a punishment from the gods. He raises his empty hands. In truth, no one knows, but they began spreading after the Saints' War, and so the name Waidwen's legacy stuck in honor of that foul, blasphemous pretender. His voice shakes with vitriol. I see. Lord Redrick's decrees may seem strict at times, but he has our best interest at heart. So Redrick is bossing around this village. Seems like a kind of a harsh man. Maybe he has a good explanation for this, but I don't know. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. It's important that everyone in Gilded Vale understand our rules. Well, at least he wants to give me some information. Maybe I can ask. I've been feeling strange ever since a close call with the Biawak, the wind. Is there someone in town who could help?
Whatever your problem, it sounds like a matter for an animancer. However, the only animancer in Gilded Vale isn't in any condition to speak. Consider yourself fortunate. After she failed Lord Radrick, we saw to it that she wouldn't profit from the misplaced trust of others. A bad cure is often worse than none at all.
Kind of a harsh punishment though.
But if you're set on finding a bottle of troll piss or a dead Audra pebble to rub on your forehead, you're welcome to check her pockets. A little corpse stink is nothing when you're digging for shit. My advice, however, is to be satisfied that you escaped and leave it at that.
Okay. Well, before I got here, I saw several people conducting a strange ceremony near some ruins. Well, why should I tell him that? But I got the option, so yeah. He regards you carefully. So some dialogue is spoken, and this is not. I'm fine, I guess, with it. You'll want to mind where you mention that trespassing on Anguithon ruins is illegal, not to mention dangerous. You probably saw someone attempting some new ritual to appease the gods. People will try anything these days. Be wrath, have mercy, we certainly have. Well, I don't think so. Just as they finished, there was a Biowak. See what he has to say about that. He polishes his spectacles on his sleeve. If you'd been that close to a Biowak, you wouldn't be standing here. Well, I fled. So this is it. Goodbye.
Keep out of...
What happens?
Listen!
2 tolls. Let that be the last.
3. Gods have mercy.
It seems your arrival is ill-timed.
He looks out toward the east, his expression unreadable. He blinks slowly and turns his attention. So what is happening?
3 bells toll only for the death of a Radrick.
Oh.
I fear Lord Radrick's heir is lost, or else Hollowborn, and so lost all the same. You should tread carefully. Circumstances have changed a great deal.
A peculiar spasm crosses his face and the corner of his mouth quirks up into a mirthless smile. So he likes it? That's one crooked man already there. Don't threaten me. I don't want to go that way now. So, what happened exactly? He shrugs one bony shoulder. I will know more details when the messengers arrive. The vagaries of childbirth, perhaps, but that is not your concern. Does this affect the Lord's offer to new settlers? I can be sure of nothing right now. I advise you to get some rest. The inn, or a stable for all I care. Find me afterwards. I will know more soon enough. So I have to rest and then I can talk to him. What do you mean? You come to us at a time of mourning. The legacy has struck at the heart of Gilded Vale. Our efforts to redeem ourselves in the eyes of Barath must be redoubled. He sets a steady gaze on you. I don't want to give him that answer, so farewell for now. My quest has been updated. The Visions and Whispers quest. What does it say? Oh, I finished that quest, of course. So this is my only quest. The magistrate advised me to get some rest while I wait for permanent accommodations. That may be the best thing to put an end to this illness as well. Yep, so I have to find the inn. There's some nice progression in the story here. I like it so far. It's very mature and unexpected. So that the Lord's son died or has been born hollow, I don't know. So there's the inn. Let me check this plaza first, maybe over there before we go to the inn, just to explore a bit. See what's what, the lay of the land and stuff. Urgit, can I talk to you some more? I'm afraid I still can't help you find residence here. Lord Raedric's son was deemed a Hollowborn. This makes circumstances even more fraught than before. Tell me about Lord Raedric. He comes from a line of nobles who have defended these lands since a dire times. Raedric II was an early supporter of their Wooden independence during the Revolution, and the current Lord's father perished in the Saints' War. Hollowborn began appearing in the Durwoods shortly after the war's end. Lord Raedric has taken it upon himself to purge the curse from Gilded Vale. His measures have been severe but necessary. Unfortunately, it may not have been enough, if the bells were any indication. The Saints' War? Our age's most egregious example of man's madness. 15 years ago, the people of Red Saras decided that Waidwen, their living saint, was the literal incarnation of the god Eothas. Urgate wrinkles his pinched nose. This supposed saint took it upon himself to liberate the Durwood, supposedly from allegiances to less worthy gods, but I've never known any armor to conquer a land for its people's own goods. The war lasted about a year, but you can guess what that year did to the worship of Eothas in the Durwood. Lord Raedric's forebears had all been Eothasians, but after this father fell defending us from those fanatics, he personally saw that the temple of Eothas here in town was shut down. He points at a few ruined walls near the tree. So that's where the temple was? The tree was inside the temple? Yeah, I'd like to know more about Gilded Vale. Tell me all about it. We're a frontier village, as are most settlements in the Durwood. Gilded Vale hasn't grown much since its establishment in the colonial days. The last 15 years have seen our population shrink further. He takes in the ramshackle houses and half-fallen fences. Hence our recruitment of fresh settlers. Well, if you hang everybody, of course there's going to be less settlers. Yeah. Why has Gilded Vale's population been shrinking? Because you hang all the people? Waidwen's legacy, of course. Many women have had difficulty bearing healthy children of late. A few years ago, Lord Raedric decreed that no mothers of Hollowborn are to be allowed in Gilded Vale. His mouth tightens into a firm line. His lordship dealt swiftly with the objectors. It may be harsh, but if it purges us of this curse, is it not worth it? I don't know. Tell me about those ruins behind the tree. That's what's left of the temple of Eothas. His lips pucker. Lord Raedric forbade worship of the dead god after the Saints' War. It's been abandoned for almost 15 years, but there are plans to rededicate it to Barath, the god of life and death. Enough about Gilded Vale. You'll get to know the town well enough as you explore, I'm sure, and that's what I'm about to do. Thank you for the information. At least he gives me that. Where are your henchmen? A sellsword, move along, and a archer who says the same. Let's look at the tree. Scattered between the roots are bracelets of twine and bead, wilting flowers, and notes half erased by the rains. And there's a fungus that grows on the wall. Blood moss. And there was another dude over here. Who are you? He's Adair. Adair.
Were you looking for someone in that tree? I could introduce you.
He looks like he could be becoming a teammate. I don't know, I have a feeling. It's a strange way to talk about your dad, I guess. He looks up at the tree and breathes out. Half the town's out there now, seems like. No right way to talk about it. Yeah, I'm looking for someone who can help me feel better. I'm sick. He gives an understanding nod as he takes a long drag from his pipe. My condolences. He exhales and turns his attention away, watching the village around him. He doesn't care. Anything else? The man smiles broadly. Welcome to our lovely village. No, he's not. He is kind of... he doesn't care at all. So I can go that way to the inn. But before I do that, I want to explore the other side. So let's go that way. Well, I can't take the medicine out of a dead body, even if I wanted to. There's some more spores. What is he saying? What is not the baby? Maybe Kolsch managed to... Hush, are you mad? Leave it for indoors. So who are you guys? They're villagers. Did you hear the bells? Bad news, I think. Yes. The crops are blighted. The legacy is upon us. The place is cursed. What do you have to say? Decent folks like you don't fare too well in these parts. Yeah, I'm not feeling very welcome indeed. There is a soldier kind of type. Thalian. Let's talk to that guy. Whoa. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this man's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. I will reach out for the soul. Whoa. You see a pennant waving tall and sluggish in the wind, a rising sun embroidered on the banner, the vanguard of a small troop of paladins. The atmosphere is buoyant, restrained, and their armor has not yet been tarnished by the elements. This expedition is fresh, young, filled with zest and zeal. At their head stands a commander, awkward in full armor, but determined in his step. Despite the excitement of his fellows, he does not smile. There is a twist to his mouth, his countenance grim. He throws up a hand, halting his troop. Silence falls among them, revealing a dark thunder deep and low. He orders them to ready their weapons and spread out. Eyes dart from horizon to horizon, necks twisting to see the source of the sound. So I'm delving into his memories. In the distance, dust and lightning rise from the ground as Stygian clouds race towards them overhead. The soldiers stand, only the staccato movement of their breath betraying their nerves. The commander closes his eyes, calling a blessing down on his troop. Invigorated, invincible, they wait as the enemy draws closer, poised to attack. Step back. Well, that was weird. Can I talk to him now? The same thing happens, I guess. Is that because I'm a cipher that I can do that? Or can any class see the man's soul? I don't know. Let's explore this. What is this? Beneath the vines are crude carvings of a sun rising over the three stars. Can I... maybe there was a hidden item. Let's talk to this child. I saw someone go into the temple. Papa says we're not supposed to. I guess that's the way into the temple. Before I do that, I want to explore a bit more. So yeah, it's been total ruin. I guess I'm going to this side. Seems like a good idea. Let me see. I guess I go north first. Let me just go a little way to here. That's where I entered. Ah, I could go this way, yeah. Let's talk to this villager. Yeah, I did hear the bells. Might be time to pack up your things, don't you think? Leave me home to the hut dwellers, never. What do you have to say? Right. The Black Hound Inn is a fine place to sit and have a smoke. And you wouldn't like to lose that gorgeous view. You used to have a lot more fortune tellers come through. Lord Redrick had us chase him off. So, whose house is this? There's a bush. Thank you. And a door. I won't be going inside yet because I want to explore everything outside.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
What's this? Ooh, there's a ghost.
Hmm.
Despite the rains, the stalks feel as dry and stiff as locust husk. So that's a north exit, I guess. Let's see. Yep.
Right.
What's about the ghost, though? Yeah, let's go over here. Some more. No, no villagers. Doreen Chamberlain. Who are you? Oh, I can step into his soul as well. What does this soul say? Ooh. I don't know if I want to read them all, but let's go quickly through them. The crowd grows silent again, save for the occasional shout. The executioner moves into position, lifting his axe to strike. The man turns suddenly, unable to watch. So I guess these are people's memory I can explore. So I guess with Rudolfir Nekator I can do that as well. You see a pair of immaculately polished leather boots and an impeccably maintained goatee. He approaches heavy-set Omoa. She jokes back, subtly palming him several gold coins. He tips his cap at her, winking, and tunnels off with a new spring in his step. I don't know that yet, if it's just as a backstory or more than that. I guess we'll find out later. Go over here a bit. I can't go into this house, and this is the end of the road. So, yeah. And let's check over here. Who are you? That's another villager. Decent folks, like, yeah. Somebody already said that to me. Yeah, let's go over here. Explore these parts a bit. Something's happening there. Swainer. We know there's more grain in there, Trumbull. We won't settle for scraps while you grow fat on our crops. A muffled shouting emerges from inside the mill. The first of you drunkards comes through that door, gets a shot between the eyes. Gods hear me, Swainer. I'll put you down like a dog. Come away for now, lads, but we'll be back, Trumbull. And if we'll have fair prices, or by the flame we'll have a reckoning. That's a task. Against the grain. Investigate the feud. That's in my journal. Some of the farmers in Gilded Vale claim that Trumbull the miller is withholding grain. The hungry farmers are on edge, and it seems likely that the situation will escalate. I guess we have to talk to the miller, right? And to the farmers who have gone to the... we'll talk later to him. I just want to explore for a bit before we undertake any tasks. So, a settler arrow. Something on the back of the house. No, don't think so. Then let's head down. There's another house here. Whose house is that? Ingrud. There's a chest with the ale. What does ale do? Ooh, damage reduction as well. To get drunk in a fight. Now go over here. Let's talk to these men over here. 2 villagers. Careful, if you head east, guards patrol the eastern wood, but not the Black Meadow. Okay. That's helpful information. And who are you? Another villager. Feels like we've been seeing more bands along the roads of late. So there are people alive in this miserable place. That's the road going east. Maybe? Let me see if it leads anything. Yeah, it leads outside. There are more crops, and that leads away as well. There's a bush though. Brass bell. And let's go to the other side of this house. There's another villager and some cows. You'd think these rains would be a boon for the crops. I guess not. Been thinking about joining family over in Deerford. They have it far better than us. Far better. Can I talk to the cows? I can't do anything with them. 4 cows. Go down a bit. See what's there. There's another house. Do they have names, these houses? Black Hammer Smith. That's the only one. There's no entrance to this house. Let's explore the other side. There's the smith. Black Hammer Smithery. And again, I will be entering that later. For now, I'm going... go down here. Then we have explored the west side and north side of the town. Now let's explore east, where the inn is as well. There are some crops. Another bush. What does this contain? Pilgrim's crown. And let's talk to this man. A villager. Poor Ophrah is so worried about her child. I don't blame her. Ophrah is the wife of King Redrick, Lord Redrick. And I can delve in these spirits again with Hugo. See if they got something new. No. And he turns back to look at them, a look of serene pleasure on his face, and he turns back and it's gone. So I can see what he saw. Well, I'll leave it for now. Something with you, Ronin. You see a group of people standing around a wagon, transfixed on his sword as it swings in a large, graceful arc. This man holds the sword, passing it from hand to hand with relaxed ease, making the blade dance in front of his audience. He tosses it into the air, spins, then puts his arm behind his back to catch it. The crowd claps excitedly, and a couple of them gasp, certain they were about to see a tragedy. Nothing new. At least there isn't a quest coming or something. So where am I? Let's explore these houses, this region over here. Another villager. Yeah, we already know that. Can I get in there? No, that's just the south road. Okay. And then this leads back to the ruined temple. And there's another plant. Thank you. There's the inn, so some more villagers. Things are bound to get worse now. Feels like we've been seeing more. Yeah, I know that. Okay. There's a group of people. Angry townsmen complaining to a guy named Aloth. Aloth, you see 4 people gathered by the door to the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. The first figure raises his hands for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggest an elf, like me.
I meant no offense. let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we? My treat.
Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
2 folk men and an elven woman. That's a bit of an overreaction from my part, so that's not good. I guess I step in. What's going on? Angry townsman, one of the other men points at the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drink, but his gaze is focused, mocking us even while he shelters in our village. Just goes to show you what these fancy Adir manners are worth. We don't take to that kind of treatment, not from foreigners and especially not from Adrians.
Go on, say it again. I'm itching for an excuse.
He stinks of sour ale.
Why, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cocksfeather!
Oh, this is going to be a fight.
I'll cut that barrel-looking tongue out of your head.
A collective cry of outrage rises from the locals.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said. We've nigh quarreled.
Something surly and raw flickers through his eyes.
That's where you're wrong.
I guess if I can be diplomatic in this situation. I can try to be, try to convince them to drink. Seems like a good option. This is unnecessary. Wouldn't you rather be inside drinking than out here arguing? We don't want your charity either, foreigner. They squint at you through red, glary eyes. It sounds suspiciously like you're defending him. Yeah, that's 2 against 3, I guess. Yes. Let's charm one. Seems like a good plan. I guess I will charm you. And oh. Use this one. At least the elf helps me. Oh, that was easy. They're done already. Aloth. As the last of the attackers falls, the elf turns to you, the tension almost gone from his smooth face.
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward situation.
Well, you're welcome.
Courtesy is a rare pleasure in these parts, though your accent suggests that you are no more local than I.
He straightens his hood and you note the remains of fraying embroidery on his gloves. His boots are caked with the dirt of many months' travel, but the leatherwork beneath it is sturdy and fine, so another fellow traveler.
Well, I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corvusser, at your service.
Yeah, how did you manage to get stuck out here? He laughs uncomfortably. That is something of a long story.
Well, I'm a wizard by training, and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Adir Empire, and both of my parents served the nobility, which afforded me an education for which I'm grateful. However, there were no open positions in those offices, and so I decided to seek new means in a new land. And how exactly did you come to be here?
I was traveling with a caravan. We were separated near some ruins.
In Gwithan ruins? Well, those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. And half the locals would arrest you for trespassing and the rest would kill you outright. I'm curious, what exactly did you find there?
Well, he's not so close, really. I suppose I can tell the truth. But option 1 and 2 are truths. So I guess option 2 is more interesting. Several hooded figures operating a strange machine. Aloth goggles at you silently, apparently assessing your earnestness. Finally, he gives you a clipped, awkward laugh.
You do manage to find yourself in rather interesting predicaments.
What are you doing in Gilded Vale?
An excellent question. I came looking for fresh air and cheap land. Instead, the magistrate gave me to the inn and a story about the local lord's expectant wife. But I take it that's a familiar tale.
So he tells that to everybody. And you. Well, I've been experiencing strange things of late. I'm looking for an expert on souls.
Indeed. The local lord has searched far and wide for similar specialists. He has rid himself of them almost as desperately.
He nods at the gnarled old tree in the center of town. Yeah, I saw that one. His darting glance takes in the tumbled-down buildings and the fallow, rock-strewn fields. I expect that such expertise would be best sought elsewhere. How did you manage to cross those 3 drunks?
I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday.
That's a crude option. You did make a rather lewd suggestion regarding one of the aggressors and his own sister. Yeah, that seems more decent. Ah, that. He clears his throat and adjusts his sleeves. As I tried to tell them, they misheard me. Happens all too easily after a few pints, and the accent doesn't help. I see. For which I am grateful. Let's discuss something else, shall we? You don't exactly look like a settler.
Begging your pardon, but neither do you. Yet, circumstances can find a person in the strangest of places.
True. I should get going. Does he become a team member, though? Maybe.
As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I could join you.
Yeah.
I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in numbers.
Sure. I need a wizard, or another person. So do I. Let's go then.
Excellent. I shall follow you.
So I got a new teammate. Just like that. Let's loot these guys. Voila. I like how it loots all of them. Instead of you having to loot all 3 of them. I guess that happens when groups of people lie, or enemies lie on the floor. So now I have Aloth as a team member. I'm going to with some items later. Can I talk to him?
Yes?
Aloth looks at you with quiet attentiveness. How may I be of service? Tell me about Adir. I've been gone for more than a year now, but I suspect I'll always think of the forests and fields of the Adir as home. We have thousands of years of history and tradition behind us. There's a sense of dignity and responsibility that comes with that. He frowns. Of course, there's baggage as well. Our imperial past is still fresh in the minds of many, as you may have noticed here. Has it been difficult to adjust to the Dirwood? People here are informal, hot-blooded. His mouth twists into a wry smirk, more attentive to insult than to duty, but as long as one avoids provocation, it's easy enough to get along. He steeples his fingers. I've gotten accustomed enough to keeping my thoughts to myself anyway. So how long were you in Gilded Vale? He shrugs, fidgeting with the hem of his sleeve. Not much longer than you. As you saw, it was hardly the haven that had been advertised. No, it wasn't. But I really don't know how it was advertised in the first place. Any thoughts on what I should do next? To the inn, but maybe he has a suggestion. Well, you're in charge here, and as far as I'm concerned, any place is better than Gilded Vale. Okay, that's all. Seems like a good plan. So he's tagging along. Before we go to the inn, and there's the west road, I guess. Ooh, can look through the windows. The windows are clouded with the haze of accumulated smoking, cooking grease. The Black Hound Inn, that's a nice name. Let's harvest the plant over here. Come with me. Now we have to explore a little north. And then we got everything outside. And then a holder that's not the pistol. 3 villagers talking to them amongst ourselves. Ha! what they got to say. Nothing new. Did you hear the bells? This stays funny, yep. So this, what is this? Ofra's house. Is that Lord Daedric's wife? Who are you? Another villager. Let's check that. Nothing new there. Some more villagers. Thought Lord Daedric's heir would mark the end of all this. Nobles put out boys to float some at us. I've heard they fend off an attack on Lord Daedric's keeps. The Black Hound is a fine place to sit and have a smoke. Maybe I'll do that. And there's the last house of the village. Who's this? Oh, that's Ofra's house. So what is this then? It's another entrance to the inn. Aha. And there's another dude over here. Yeah. And a little bit north, and then I've explored all of town. And there's another two of the Souls guys. Let's, yeah, why not? Clink. Ooh, that's a lot of information. And we got Locks the Usurper. Kind of curious what that means. Something I can do with them later, maybe. He thrusts his swords through his stomach. Well, they got some nice memories, not. Yeah. Something over here. Nope. So I guess that's the whole town. Guess I will enter the inn after I explored here a bit. I've got this desk with the windmill as well, and I want to go to the smith, and I want to equip my new found teammate Aloth, and I guess I'll be doing that later.